A's Extra.
The Anglers Extra pregame show rolls on here from Veterans Field. I'm with Josh Rivera, the Florida shortstop, as Chatham waits to take on Hyannis. Josh, thanks for coming on Catch of the Day today.
Appreciate it for having me, man.
So you've played a really smooth shortstop so far, made a couple highlight reel defensive plays. Who are some of your mentors and guys that helped you get to this point defensively?
Honestly, the biggest mentor of my collegiate career has been Chuck Girolman. He's the infield coach out there at University of Florida. And, just coming in as a freshman last year, he preached a lot on my defense. Well, not on my defense, but just defense in the game of baseball in general, because, it's so important. And, he just preached how, big it would be to be, impactful shortstop defensively. So, he's always out there working with me, making sure I'm making all the routine plays. And, this year in my college season, it was pretty rough. I had some struggles going on defensively, but, once I got back to work with the reps and all the pre-practice stuff and all that stuff, it all just worked itself out towards the end. So, now I'm out here trying to have fun making some plays.
You've made a lot of highlight reel plays. You ranged back in the first home opener here and grabbed a ball on an Orleans bat that I thought was a bloop single. That was a truly great play of yours. You talked about that adversity in college. What are you trying to prove coming here for the summer, either defensively or offensively?
Mostly just, it's not really trying to prove anything, honestly, because, I know how good I am personally, even though sometimes I may have doubts. But, that's just how the game of baseball is. But if I were to prove anything, it would be, that I could just come out here and play with the best of the best, honestly. I think there's a lot of good baseball players out here, and, this is, such a prestige league. So the biggest thing for me is just coming out here, having fun, and, make all the routine plays.
You've made the routine plays. You've also gotten on base a lot. You have a hit in nearly every game that you've started so far. Coming to wood bats, are there any adjustments you've made to your swing?
Definitely. Especially the other night when I broke 3 bats in one at-bat. Definitely got to try to get the barrel head out there in front and, not get beat on any fastballs, because, back in college you can afford to get jammed a little bit and get those, those little singles or dribblers in the infield. But, you'll still have your bat intact. But out here, if you do that, you're going to be, needing to call somebody to bring you some bats. So I definitely experienced that. But biggest thing is just trying to get the barrel head out there. Honestly, that's the biggest adjustment from metal bat to wood bat.
Here with Josh Rivera before Chatham and Hyannis at Veterans Field on the Anglers Extra pregame show. I wasn't going to let you get away without talking about the bats. I mean, you had the whole field going nuts for you. It was like stand-up comedy out here. What's going through your head after one, and then the second one, and then another broken bat?
Well, honestly, the Chandler, my first bat, that was my baby. So when I broke that, I instantly looked down and I was like, no. I was like, man, what am I going to do? And then after the second and third one, the third one was, Mike Brown's. So after the third one, I was like, man, do I still want to swing? Like, do I just want to take a pitch? If it's a strike, it's just, it's a strikeout. But, I was just nervous to break another bat. And thankfully I did, and I caught a barrel. But unfortunately, he ran it down out in center field and made a great play.
You use Mike Brown's bat? I mean, you're a big guy. You're, what, 6'2"? Yeah. Mike's nearly 6'8". Yeah. And you're using Mike Brown's bat. Was it not heavy or too long?
I mean, honestly, when I walked over there, I was just like, hey, man, just give me a bat, because I don't have any more. And they just grabbed a random bats. I didn't know it was Mike till after. After the game, he was looking for his blue bat. And, one of them were like, oh, might have been the bat that Josh used, and he broke it. And me and him kind of just exchanged little friendly words about it. And just, it was my bad, bro, I'll get you another one. And, just so thankful that Old Hickory, supplies Chatham with the bats. So, we're covered on that, but definitely felt bad for breaking it.
Well, he's got a new one. You have a few new bats tonight. You also have a new third baseman coming in. Benefield joins the team today. What can you do at short to try to make his introduction as easy as possible?
Honestly, just tell him how the field plays. Being here for the first couple games, playing in, all these different fields up here in the Cape. It's a lot different than being back at school playing on, nice fields. Not saying these fields aren't nice, but, the infield is, a lot more rough than most college infields. So biggest thing is just to let him know how the ball's going to hop, and just basically tell him to pick out his hops the best he can.
Man on the mound tonight for Chatham, a rival of yours during the regular season, Daniel Fetterman. He's a Miami guy. You're a Florida guy. Yeah. So you faced him during the year. You've seen him throw now. What makes him tough to hit?
Biggest thing is the deception. He's always, he's comfortable with throwing all his off speed and, whatever count he's in. So just trying to pick up the spin out of his hand, that's usually the toughest thing because, there are times where he got me in college. He got me and then I got him a little bit. So biggest thing with him is just trying to not guess what's coming, but to just pick up the spin out of his hand.
Usually battling Fetterman. Tonight you go up against him. Josh Rivera, thank you so much for joining us today on Catch of the Day.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are just moments away from Chatham and Hyannis here at Veterans Field, but before we get there, let's go back up to the broadcast booth with Emmanuel Berbari.